Rated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Oh boy, what a good way to start the program. I remember being a little kid in the early 70s, and this came on TV. It's like I was eating sugar. I got fired up. One of the best television theme songs of all time. And the video montage was fantastic. Really matched up with the music well. The zoom-in shots on the balconies, McGarrett turning around, the Hawaiian girl with the skirt on. There he is, number 9, Mr. Drew Brees. Thank you so much for that introduction. From Mr. Untuck It, Walk-Ons, Sliders. I was in the Lowe's the other day. Hey, it's Drew Brees, Lowe's consultant. It's like, yeah, Drew, where's the lumber located? What aisle are the 2x4s on? I need a light bulb. Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson with you. We have a blockbuster program lined up for you on this Thursday afternoon. 2 big hours coming your way on the radio. Oh So Fine, 93.9 FM. Oh So Fine, 93.9 FM. Keep a close eye on that station. Some nice things are going to be happening there. Hopefully sooner than later. 107.9 FM, another place to check us out. New Orleans' own 107.9 FM. Hey, if you're leaving the New Orleans area, maybe beelining to Baton Rouge, heading deep into the North Shore, maybe going east towards Slidell, Mississippi, Southern Alabama, Panhandle of Florida. We're also on 600 AM. 600 AM, a sneaky, powerful AM signal that covers a few states, so we're glad to be there. Hey, this talk radio program, that's my bread and butter, talk radio. Been doing it about 30 years now, 30 plus years. March of 1992, right when I got out of LSU in May of 91. Was working in television, Baton Rouge, and then I got on this sports talk radio station, one of the first few in America. WIBR 1300 in Baton Rouge. I don't even think that station's on the air anymore. I don't believe it is. Used to do the show at the transmitter site. The studios were right under the tower in a cow pasture in Port Allen on the best bank of Baton Rouge. Yeah, that was 30 plus years ago, March of 92. Yeah, so talk radio is our bread and butter. Since Katrina, 17 years ago, I kind of 86, bing, the sports talk format and just embrace talk radio. I talk a little sports every now and then. We had on Troy Dannon on the program yesterday. We had Willie Fritz on the program on Tuesday. Troy Dannon was really good talking about athletic facilities, all kind of different stuff. So, no, we talk a little sports, talk a little food. It's New Orleans on Fridays. Frank Brightson joins us on the program. No, we do all that good stuff. Food, sports, music, entertainment, but a lot of news and politics mainly. So, yeah, talk radio, our bread and butter. This talk radio program also on television throughout Louisiana. If you have Cox TV anywhere in Louisiana, I'm on Your View, Cox Channel 4. Cox Channel 4 from 4 to 6 p.m. I'm sorry, 4 to 5:30, 90 minutes of the 2-hour radio program on TV. 4 to 5:30, Cox Channel 4, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, all kind of different little towns and cities throughout Louisiana. We're also on Charter, Spectrum Channel 333, and those don't overlap. Areas that don't have Cox Communications in Louisiana have Charter or Spectrum TV. We're on Spectrum Channel 333 every weekday afternoon. Live streaming. Take the show with you on the road to the hunting blind, the fishing hole, jogging in the park, working out in the gym, working out in the yard, cutting the grass, doing some landscaping, just taking a walk outside, exercise, whatever. Take the show with you on the road, laptop, smartphones, live streaming, audio or video, CoreyTalks.com. CoreyTalks.com. You can check out the program live every day on YouTube. 2 big hours, 4 to 6 o'clock on YouTube. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to try to build that bad boy in 2023, our social media presence as well. I'm kind of old school. I suck at social media. Just got on YouTube about 3-4 months ago. I know. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm telling you I'm wrong. I'm slow on social media, but I've got some plans. Some people I'm talking with that are going to help me do a better job of that in 2023, getting a little assist. CoreyTalks.com, Corey spelled Kaare. You can email us, Corey at CoreyTalks.com, Kaare. Yeah, and like I said, we are on YouTube. Check out our YouTube channel, Corey Johnson Neutral Ground. Click to subscribe. Send the link to other folks. YouTube, Anchor, iTunes, Spotify. The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on Spotify. Yeah, you right. Got a good one lined up for you, like I said, in about 10 minutes, less than that, 9 minutes. Another edition of Hillyer and Henican. Right-leaning Quin Hillyer, a staunch conservative. Left-leaning Ellis Henican, liberal Ellis. They'll both join us coming up in 8 minutes. I love getting these guys on. They're national pundits. Ellis has been in New York the last 35, 40 years. Quin was in D.C., the Beltway, now in Mobile, Alabama, married a Southern girl. They're both New Orleans natives and smart. Quin went to Newman. Ellis went to Jesuit. Quin went to Georgetown. Ellis went to Columbia. So, a couple of local dudes that are really well-read, really smart, thoughtful. They don't yell at each other. They disagree about 90% of the time, but it's pretty thought-provoking stuff. I love getting them on the program. Local guys, born and raised here, have been gone since they were 18, and national pundits. Another edition of Hillyer and Henican coming up in just a few minutes. The 5 o'clock Power Hour, Joe Responti will join us. Lee Zurich reports the FBI expands their investigation into Mayor LaToya, the Destroyer, Cantrell. Purchases made by her image consultant, NOPD officer Jeffrey Vappy, the Pontalba apartment. Lots of stuff to investigate with Junket Cantrell. Contrary Cantrell. Joe Responti in an hour. Fox 8 legal expert, New Orleans attorney Joe Responti, breaking it down for us. Speaking of the law, there's a new New Orleans law in effect. No colas with kids' meals at fast food. Just so strange. It's like, is the fast food part good for the kids? The crappy burgers and fries? The Coke's really going to be that much of a detriment? The parents can still order a Coke themselves. It just doesn't come with the Happy Meal type thing, the kids' meal. But, you can go to neighboring Jefferson Parish or St. Bernard, where life is hot, and get your Coke with your Happy Meal. I don't know, whatever. The national search for the new NOPD chief has not even begun. Has not even started. Nice sense of urgency, Cantrell. The Saints and Pelicans call on the city, the NOPD, after yet more car break-ins after last night's Pels Rockets game at the arena at the Smoothie King Center. Not only the Saints and the Pels are concerned, this is a fact. The NFL and the NBA are concerned about this. We are really embarrassing ourselves nationwide. How about guardian angels for New Orleans? How about some guardian angels for New Orleans? Need a few hundred volunteers that, know a little bit about security, first aid, the law. We need them patrolling the quarter 24/7, 365. And we need them patrolling the dome, arena areas, surrounding areas, parking lots, Anytime there's an event, apparently. You ready for some absolutely great news? Substantial improvement. My God, great news. Damar Hamlin is awake, breathing. Breathing tune won't allow him to talk, but he wrote down today, hey, who won the game? His charity, trying to raise $2,500 for Christmas. Now it's $7.3 million. Hillyer and Henican next. Don't move, New Orleans. Going to be a good one. Yeah, $7.3 million in his charity now. I love it. 200,000 plus folks volunteering. Just a great story. And thank God this 24-year-old kid's coming back. Damar Hamlin. Love it. Love the great prognosis. Like everybody else. Good news. Yeah, like I said, another edition of Hillyer and Henican right now.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms. With high-definition night vision surveillance systems, letting you see what's going on. Home surveillance that's smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, now with 4 area locations. Canal at Carrollton, on the North Shore and Slidell, in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana, and now in Metairie, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. The Woodhouse Day Spa.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about fresh local fish like flounder, snapper, and speckled trout, fried, broiled, or grilled. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spots. NolaAC.com, your cool spots.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a Thursday afternoon in New Orleans. I love getting these two guys on, a couple of New Orleans natives that have been gone from the city about 40 years. Quin's popped back in for a little gig here or there, but he was on the Beltway for years. Now he's in Mobile. I guess he hooked up with a Southern girl and dragged him back to the South. How you doing, Quin?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing, Corey?
Doing well, man. Thanks so much for joining us again. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you and all your listeners, and to Ellis.
Yeah, there he is. Let's go to Manhattan. I'm thinking the lower part of the city, around his house, his work. Ellis Henican joins us. How you doing, Ellis?
I'm doing great. Happy New Year to both you guys.
What's going on in the Big Apple?
Things are all right. You know, it's funny. I was in New Orleans over the holiday. It was colder in New Orleans than it was in New York.
Yeah, that thing, Quin, that hit New Orleans and Mobile, that 20 degrees feels like 12 gimmick, 25 degrees feels like 14. That was out of control, wasn't it?
It was a little too cold for my taste, especially since our hot water heater went out.
Ouch.
Uh-oh.
I've got a few plants that are dead in the yard. Got to do a little landscaping, I guess. Yeah. What did we have down here, Ellis? What do y'all call that up there? A nor'easter? We had one, a Gulf Easter. I don't know what you'd call it.
I guess everyone on the weather was calling it a bomb cyclone. And frankly, I never heard about that until about 2 years. They must have invented that like 2 or 3 years ago. Bomb cyclone.
Yeah, I've never heard of that either until about 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. Yep. Strange. All right, you guys ready to get into it?
Absolutely. But I don't know where you're going, but I have to start this show by saying roll wave.
Boy, huh? How nice was that, Quin?
Yeah, it was awesome. That was awesome. It was a 1 or 2, a hell of a hullabaloo, and then some.
I like your piece, Quin. I read your piece about that. I did not know all the previous Hillyer connections to the Tulane football team.
Well, thanks. Well, my grandfather, as I say, we can say he played on the first Sugar Bowl team, but he didn't play in the first Sugar Bowl. It was pretty funny. Anyway, roll wave, and now whatever you all want to talk about, I'm there.
I love Willie Fritz. Just obviously a great coach. Never takes any of the credit, always pushing it to someone else. He was at the Pels game last night, and they announced him, and he just stands up, pumping his fist, and then rolls his arms and then does this like wave things with his arm, like roll wave, just so everyone on the big screen could see it. Just a really cool coach. I mean, Sean Payton, great coach, big ego. Nick Saban, great coach, big ego. Willie Fritz, Quin, great coach, kind of humble dude. It's refreshing to see. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the big ego and success, but you don't have to have it. You don't have to have it.
No, he's awesome. You just gotta like the guy.
Yeah,
got to like the guy.
You really do.
No, Corey, do we think he's going to stay? I know there was a little bit of a scare a couple of weeks ago that he might already be leaving. Is he going to stay?
I think so. I think. Georgia Tech, the beautiful thing is he goes to Atlanta, visits with Georgia Tech. They offer him the gig, essentially. But he's such a high integrity guy. He's like, can't accept it while I'm here. I got to go back to New Orleans and Tulane and tell them what I'm going to do. And Georgia Tech's like, we kind of need an answer now. And he's like, well, I got to go do this. They're like, all right. And then rumors start leaking that he might be the coach and whatever. He gets back to Tulane, and then he decides to stay put. Georgia Tech kind of got a little wishy-washy and started looking at other candidates and the like. But I think the man's integrity kind of helped him stay at Tulane. And then if he leaves, we don't get to enjoy that insane 46-45 come from behind Cotton Bowl win. That was the first major bowl win for Tulane in 88 years. Crazy.
Awesome.
Hey, Quin, I'm sure you're hearing about this. Ellis, I want to know if you're hearing about this. You know, the Saints and Pels will play at the Dome, the Smoothie King Center, respectively. And just the last few months, it's like every game, there are cars that get broken into in parking lots surrounding the arena and the Dome. It might be CBD. It might be right next to the Dome of the arena. The Saints and Pelicans have finally had enough. They've called the NOPD. They've called the mayor, the city council. And now the NFL and NBA are concerned. New Orleans once again, embarrassing ourselves. I'm sure you've heard about it in Mobile, Quin. I want to ask you about it. But Ellis, I'm wondering up in New York, is that a story or not? Is that something that's jumping off the pages or not really?
I would not say that the car break-ins is something that's jumping off the pages. But, I mean, I do think that the larger story of the violent crime in New Orleans and some of the property crimes as well is definitely a story. New Orleans as a city whose lifeblood is attracting people to come there and have a good time. You got to look at it with some peril, not just concern for the victims, but also some concern about what that does to people's willingness to come to New Orleans.
No, and a lot of locals that are like throwing in the towel and, you know, at the least moving to Metairie or the North Shore, some out of state. Quin, what do you think?
Well, I hope I don't overstep my bounds here, but I think if your listeners have not signed a certain petition yet, they need to get off their butts and go sign it.
Yep.
Because nothing's going to change as long as a certain person is mayor of New Orleans. And now, she's not the only problem by any means.
Nope.
But she let it get this way. She had a perfect plan presented to her on her first day in office, a perfect crime-fighting plan, and she ignored it. She absolutely ignored it. I've read it. It was detailed. It made sense. She absolutely ignored it. Now, you've also got a DA who spent a couple of years refusing to prosecute people. You got judges that were letting people out. So it's not just her fault.
Nope.
But it's bad. The whole nation has heard about it. And the only way that New Orleans can signal that it's serious about changing things is by taking a dramatic step such as a recall election.
We're visiting with Quin Hillyer and Ellis Henican. Quin's referring to nolatoya.org. Yeah, go sign that recall effort, even if you're sort of on the fence, because it doesn't mean the mayor's gone. It means there'll be an election for all New Orleans voters to vote if you want to keep her or not. And I think she has earned a third election. She's earned it by, the junkets, the Pontalba apartment stuff, sort of the belligerent attitude. The FBI's expanding their investigation into the mayor. So, I think any decent New Orleanian should, like I said, I think she deserves a third, ballot, a third, Sign
the petition, bring the election on, and then let her make her case. But at least force her to make her case.
Yes.
And let the people decide.
Exactly. Couldn't say it better myself. Hey, Ellis, you lean left. New Orleans it's not a liberal city. It's like loony liberal. It's like woke. I don't think there's a moderate Democrat in public office, much less a blue dog. And there's not a single conservative Republican I can think of in New Orleans. Isn't that a problem, Ellis? I mean, all Democrat or all Republican, I don't think you get anything good out of that. I mean, maybe I'm oversimplifying this. Reagan is president, Democrat Congress, Clinton is president, Republican Congress. Wasn't that the best of times?
Let me make sure I'm hearing you right, Corey. You don't think there are any conservative people in New Orleans?
No, New Orleans government. New Orleans government.
I want you to meet some of my relatives, Corey.
Oh, no, I know some of your relatives. I mean, New Orleans government. There are a lot of conservative people in New Orleans, especially the suburbs. I'm talking about New Orleans government strictly. City Hall, City Council. assessors, I don't know of a single Republican or conservative.
Elected official. Well, I mean, it is a democratic city. It's a what is the African American population now? And if you add in some, Tulane professors and French Quarter residents, and some folks in the warehouse district, and it's a pretty solidly democratic city surrounded by miles and miles and miles of super conservative Republicans. I mean, listen, more liberal people tend to gather in cities, guys. I don't know why we need to be so alarmed about that.
I think the problem is New Orleans is too liberal, and Quin, I think Louisiana's too conservative. It's not Republican conservative like you. It's wacky right. It's extreme right. But even Louisiana, not once, twice, elected a Democrat as governor. New Orleans has no Republican representation anywhere. I think that's a problem. Quin, do you think only Republican works or only Democrat works, or kind of a mix of both works best? What are your thoughts?
I think a mix of both works best. I wish that there were a few more moderate Democrats in state government. And I'm talking about the legislature. And I wish there were some moderate Republicans in local government in New Orleans. I think the give and take helps. I think it keeps people honest. So I'm entirely with you. Now, obviously, being a conservative, I would rather a strong majority of elected officials be conservative. But I actually agree with you. I actually agree with you that it's better not to have everybody conservative and not to have everybody liberal.
And we have a good case study here right now on upcoming governor race. Right? So for the past 8 years, we've had what by any measure is a very moderate Democratic governor, right? I mean, he's probably the most conservative Democratic governor in America. Only somewhere like the Louisiana legislature would he be considered anything other than pretty conservative.
He's anti-abortion. He's pro-guns. Ellis, hold that thought real quick. I got to knock out this quick break. The break train's coming down the tracks. Coming right back. Ellis and Quin.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Tommy's Lock and Alarms is now hiring service and installation technicians. Great benefits, great pay, take-home vehicle. Apply today. Tommy'sLockandAlarms.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Kanye West was seen shopping at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
I am Shakespeare in the flesh. Walt Disney, Nike, Google.
Okay, I think Kanye was talking about something else entirely. Super Discount Store on Paris Road in Chalmette.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday. Dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process, of a custom made piece. I have a test that says if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Enjoy outdoor dining on the streetcar line, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, the finest in Middle Eastern cuisine, Carrollton at Jeanette, Lebanon's Cafe.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us to you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
It's another edition of Hillyer and Henican, right-leaning Quin Hillyer. You can check him out online, Quin with one N, Hillyer, QuinHillyer.com. Left-leaning Ellis Henican joins us as well. You can check out Ellis online, too. His website is Henican.com, Henican, Henican.com. Hey, guys, what we were going to go into the Kasich thing, I guess. I like Kasich. I think he'd make a great president. I think we're on like 9 votes or maybe 10 votes for Kevin McCarthy up in D.C. This is insane. Kasich said, why don't Republicans and Democrats get together and elect someone mutually and go with that guy? I love the idea. And then I thought, I don't think there's one Republican or Democrat in D.C. that would like that idea except Kasich, the Republican. What do you think, Quin?
Well, I don't think it's practical in today's Congress, but I think in theory it's a great idea. And it just happened in Pennsylvania. It was fascinating. The Republicans have a temporary 101 to 99 seat majority, but that's only because there are 3 open seats that are in heavily Democratic districts.
Yeah.
So Republicans could have elected a speaker who, in a month and a half, when they have those special elections, then they would have to have another speaker election because the Democrats would then have a 1-seat majority. So it was all a mess. And a backbencher Republican, sort of out of the blue, said, I'm nominating a moderate Democrat instead of the liberal who was being put up. And if a bunch of Republicans come with me and Democrats come along too, we'll have this consensus moderate guy, but he's a Democrat. And lo and behold, it worked. And so this moderate Democrat, rather than the liberal Democrat, took over as speaker, accepted the job, and then said, okay, now that I've been accepted by both sides, I'm going to change my registration from Democrat to independent. I'm going to hire staff from both sides, and we're going to try to run this in a fair and neutral manner. Now, that to me is a brilliant outcome for a very tough situation. I don't think it's going to happen anything like that in Washington, but it's an example of the kind of thing that can happen if you have people of goodwill.
Hey, Ellis, finish up your thoughts as we headed into the break about John Bel Edwards in Louisiana, and then fade into what Quin was just talking about.
Yeah, I'll bring it all together if you can.
Yep.
I think I think that most people, and this is kind of where I am, I want government to get some stuff done.
Yep.
I mean, we have some big challenges in this in this world of ours. We have spent too long with paralysis, and it's been one of the things that I think has made Joe Biden bounce back a bit. You see the guy get things done yesterday. The wonderful split screen to look at Mitch McConnell and Joe Biden, along with the Republican governor of Ohio, the Democratic governor of Kentucky, and a handful of other senators actually presiding over something we need, which is to replace busted bridges and bad roads and faltering mass transit systems and rotten Wi-Fi. I think most Americans want that, which is why what we're watching in Washington right now just seems so disconnected and so discordant. Not the message that voters sent in the midterm elections, which was get these extremists and crazy people aside and go make some deals and make stuff happen. That really is where the immediate future lies, I believe.
Quinn?
Well, I think so, too. Again, in theory, the numbers aren't there to make such a thing happen in the House of Representatives. But I've got to say, I agree that Kevin McCarthy should not be Speaker. He's a weasel. But I'm against him for the exact opposite reason that the 21 Republicans voting against him are. They are, I'm sorry to say, most of them are just flat out nutcases.
Yep,
and
they are.
So
even Sean Hannity was ripping them last night. That's how wacky they are. Even Sean Hannity.
I don't want them to win, but I don't want McCarthy to win. And you know what? If McCarthy gets out, if he would just say, okay, I'm not going to be the guy, then they could go, the nutcases could go home with their scalp. They don't want Steve Scalise either. But I think having proved whatever their point was, they would accept Steve Scalise. And Steve Scalise has the advantage of being conservative enough for just about everybody in the Republican caucus. But the Democrats like him, too, because he's a nice guy. He's a genuinely good guy. So he is the obvious answer if Kevin McCarthy will get out of the way. And, of course, that would be great for Louisiana.
We're visiting with Quin Hillyer and Ellis Henican. It's another edition of Hillyer and Henican. Hey, guys, before we move on to more national topics, I want to stick on a local one. New Orleans in 1970 had right over 1 million people in the metro area in 1970. In 1980, I mean, the 70s were incredible. From 72 to like 83, 25 high-rise buildings were built in the CBD, cranes in the sky. We grew by 300,000 people in the 70s, in that decade. Growth that you'd see like in Dallas, Houston, Atlanta, Austin, Nashville, Las Vegas these days. A 30% increase in population to about 1.3 million in 1980. 40 plus years later, we're at right under 1.3 million. I mean, no growth, total stagnation. I saw a photo today. It nauseated me, literally, as a New Orleanian. Nashville has over 2 million in population. Nashville has about 20 cranes in the air right now. Huge construction boom. Folks flocking to that city. I'm not knocking Nashville, but I mean, New Orleans compared to Nashville, I mean, it's like a cultural mecca compared to a cul-de-sac, street. It just really upset me. What do you think is the reason New Orleans, the needle has not moved in 40 plus years? And in a way, it's why people like you, Ellis and Quin, don't live in the city. There were opportunities elsewhere that New Orleans could not provide for you. Either one of you can take it and run with that.
Well, let me jump in on that one, if I might. First of all, jobs is the main piece of it, right?
Yep.
Professional opportunities that attract new people and keep folks who are there, give them a reason to stay. Oddly, one of the times of hope in New Orleans was its worst and most dark hours in that period, Corey, which was after Katrina. I was feeling particularly hopeful in those years. I mean, obviously, tremendous devastation, great pain suffered by a lot of people. But there was a sense of opportunity. You noticed people coming from other places, the early rumbles of a tech business growing up there. Some of them good people from elsewhere who moved to New Orleans to help in the recovery and got there and said, wow, this is a pretty nice place, you know? Housing isn't too expensive. There's a lot of interesting stuff to do. There's great culture and history, and this is somewhere I want to make my home. And I think the good news, and there is some good news in here that we've seen in recent years, has largely been propelled by those people. Outsiders, fresh perspective, new energy, not being held by the traditional prejudices of New Orleans, and just moving forward. And as I look for solutions to this stuff, frankly, that's kind of the area where my mind goes. Yes, we're a great tourist town. We'll probably continue to stay a great tourist town, but we do need some other things that produce better jobs.
Boy, the 06, 07 recession after Katrina cost New Orleans literally tens of billions of dollars in private investment. It just never happened. And that recession got a lot of public money, but no private money and no growth, really. And that really crushed us. Quin?
Well, I could go on for probably a solid hour on what needs to be done. I won't try to do that, but I'll say this.
Quin, Little Mobile, Alabama is a much better run city. When you guys get that bridge over the river and a new Jubilee Parkway to the eastern shore, Mobile's going to explode.
I don't mind New Orleans not growing in population because, we're in a swamp and we're surrounded by water, and there are areas that probably should not have been paved in New Orleans East that were paved over, and that's caused problems for everybody.
Well, maybe the North Shore I-12 corridor. There should be a good million plus folks more up there.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, but the point is that it's not the numbers, it's the quality of life that desperately needs to improve. And the overall, sort of the average income and the average job. And there's lots that need to be done for that. But we were there 4.5 years ago. My wife and I bought a little place in New Orleans. We were delighted to have a chance to get back there. And this city looked the best I'd ever seen it in my life. And that was right at the end of Mitch Langer's term. And he did some things I don't agree with. He did some things I do agree with. He messed some things up. He did some things brilliantly. But the city looked good. And now it doesn't, just 4.5 years later. That shows that that leadership matters. And you want better jobs, you want to get back to the momentum that we looked like we were having, you need to get better leadership.
LaToya the Destroyer, a.k.a. the nickname, I should say that the nickname, that's why it's there. Hey, Ellis, I just, New Orleans has such problems.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning with 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market. Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Rouse's Markets means convenience. Every one of our 65 locations opens at 7 a.m., some at 6:30, and they're open until 10 p.m., with some staying open till 11 or even midnight. Convenience. Rouse's Markets. Tastes like home.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
For over 30 years, one of the premier security companies in New Orleans and South Louisiana has been Tommy's Lock and Alarms. And right now, Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring. Come and work for one of the best security companies in the region with great pay, great benefits, and a take-home vehicle. Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring, and they're looking for you. To apply for one of these coveted positions, go online to tommyslockandalarms.com. Tommy's Lock and Alarms.
Have a painting project but can't decide on the perfect color? At Helm Paint and Decorating, we offer half-pint paint samples in any Benjamin Moore color for under $5, so you can test potential paint colors before investing in a full gallon.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Henican. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
Recently, Kim Kardashian was seen at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
Let's party.
Can you think of any other celebrities that won't sue us? Super Discount Store in Chalmette. The lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and cold beer. 3235 Paris Road.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Another edition of Hillyer and Henican. I think I was interrupting you as usual, Ellis, with the old break.
Here's the point I was making. Thank you, Corey. I'm not here to defend the mayor, and she leaves a lot to be desired. I think we all agree with that. But there is a danger, I think, in wrapping all this stuff into demonizing one person.
Yeah.
Whatever her limitations and faults are, I would say 2 things. First of all, getting a new mayor is very difficult, and this may well not work. I mean, even if you get the signatures, you've got the election. It's still a lot of signatures to go, and I don't want to put it all in that bucket. I would challenge people in a way, whoever the mayor is. Let's encourage, and Quin has been good on this topic, let's encourage this citizen crime reestablishment notions. This consultants down there, John Linder and those people, they know what they're doing. Maybe we should listen to them. And in the business community, maybe we ought to do some things that are attracting good, well-paying jobs to New Orleans outside of the hospitality sector. It's easy and sometimes appropriate, Quin, blame the mayor, but some of it's on us too, and I think we got to not turn it all into a discussion of demonizing the person at City Hall.
Yeah, how can you disagree with that, Quin? It's the citizens of New Orleans, citizens of Louisiana. I don't mean to be a jerk. I'm saying it, not you guys. It's like the law school thing. Look to your left, look to your right. One of those people won't be there. I say it this way. In New Orleans and Louisiana, look to your left, look to your right. One of those people, sort of a second-rate kind of loser type person almost. We elect characters instead of people with character. Bill Jefferson, Edwin Edwards, John Alario. You want me to keep rattling off the list? Cleo Fields. It's a joke. A bunch of criminals, a bunch of doing nothing for the citizens. It's all the needs of the few outweighing the needs of the many. It's setting up friends and family. It's pathetic.
Well, Louisiana has had its share of really bad elected officials, also has had its share of really talented ones, and it's a weird mix. I agree with Ellis. You can't blame it all on the mayor, and I've tried to say that, but I do come back to that's a very good, important, crucial first step is to give the citizens a chance to vote on whether they want to keep this mayor. And you know what? If they get that vote, that also sends a message to a lot of the other elected officials that they have to up their game. Okay, if it's a shot across the bow for all of them, saying we are citizens, as citizens, are not going to sit back and take bad leadership, and so you've got to stop doing the self-dealing. You've got to stop doing the crazy woke stuff. You've got to start being serious, and so that's why I keep harping on this recall motion, even though clearly that's not the only thing that needs doing.
Hey, Ellis, we mentioned the major crime problem that you guys up in New York see down here in New Orleans. Who was the old guardian angel guy? Silva?
Curtis Sliwa.
Yeah, we need New Orleans guardian angels. That's what we need, just like New York. A few hundred citizens that patrol the quarter 24/7, that patrol around the dome in the arena when there's an event. What do you think of that, Ellis? I think just that visual keeps the crime away.
It might help a little. Again, I'm looking for some hope here. Let me give you a couple of other possibilities. I would say that the city council right now, which has not been a font of great leadership in recent times, and maybe this is just compared to the mayor, but I get the sense that they're a little more serious over there these days. What Judge Russo is doing, and Helena, and who's the new woman who was at Loyola, who's representing the Uptown area?
Leslie.
Harris.
Right? Yeah, that's right. Leslie Harris. Yep.
But I mean, I think these are people who are maybe a cut above of what we're used to. And I do think we ought to already be thinking, if not LaToya, who? Who is out there in leadership positions who can be electable? I don't mean somebody who we're just going to dream of, but somebody who has some political savvy who would be an improvement. Because one of our tendencies in New Orleans is to complain without constructive alternatives. And I think we need to start thinking about some constructive alternatives.
Yeah, it's easy to point out the problems, harder to come up with the solutions. Quin?
I like the idea of the Curtis Sliwa kind of thing, as long as they work with the police department and don't just act like wild vigilantes.
Of course.
They need to be constructive, and they need to work within the law. But that's exactly the kind of thing we need, is volunteers, citizen groups to go patrol areas and to help in every way that they can. So I'm definitely with you on that one.
Hey, Quin, John Kennedy opts out of the Louisiana governor's race, staying in the U.S. Senate. Jeff Landry's the only guy out there. I think Nungesser's going to jump in. I think Schroeder, maybe the treasurer, maybe even Garrett Graves, the congressman. Jeff Landry's like those 21 lunatics you were talking about up in D.C., isn't he?
Well, he has not impressed me all that much. He's right on some things. It's his style more than his substance that bothers me. But let's see what develops. I'd like to see a couple of other guys jump in and have a real contest for it.
Yep, always the extremes down here on the left and the right. Hey, Ellis, any final thoughts until next time?
Well, yeah, I mean, Quin left us in a good spot. Let's find somebody for governor who's involved in doing things, who wants to achieve stuff, who wants to find some middle ground that'll actually solve some problems. I think most people, even in Louisiana, are getting sick of these, ideological firebrands who only want to tear down, only want to make ideological points, and don't care about actually delivering stuff that people need. And boy, you mentioned a few names. I got to learn more about them, but let's find someone who will behave that way.
You don't have to learn more about them, Ellis. That'll just wreck your life.
Billy Nungesser and Garrett Graves are people that are trying, that are get it done type of people.
Yep.
And so, they would be a step in the right direction.
Yeah, they're honest, ethics, integrity. They're not out to set themselves up. No, that definitely would be a step in the right direction, either one of those. Hey, Quin, always a pleasure, brother.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Happy New Year to everybody. And again, roll wave.
Ellis, you're the man. Thank you as always.
Great being on with you guys as always. Happy New Year to everybody.
That's another edition of Hillyer and Henican. Corey Johnson back at you. 5 o'clock powwow is next. 93.9 FM, 107.9 FM, New Orleans. Don't move.
For years, you've been hearing about the virtues of Springfield Wellness Center and their successful treatment of over 1,000 individuals who overcame their substance addiction. Now it's your turn. Here's Springfield's founder, Paula Norris Medier.
Our Brain Restoration Plus Detox Treatment is an intravenous nutritional supplement that restores the brain's chemical imbalances. Our patients detox with minimal withdrawal symptoms. It also blocks the craving, which is unbelievable and which is why most people say they have a hard time believing, but it restores neuron function. Many treatment programs use one drug to get you off of another drug. At Springfield, we treat the problem. Addiction is first a brain disease. If you or a loved one suffer from substance abuse, please just give us a call.
Put your addiction behind you. Call Springfield Wellness Center now, 504-291-2800. That's 291-2800.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Where can you find shish kebab in New Orleans? Lamb, beef, chicken, shrimp, plus all your other Mediterranean favorites. Lebanon's Cafe on the streetcar line. Lunch, dinner, and shish kebab. Lebanon's Cafe.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Henican. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarm. With smart home technology, control lights, locks, cameras, thermostat, and your alarm, all from your phone or laptop. Smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, is now more convenient than ever. Now open, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metairie location, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. Metairie and Kenner's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about their daily lunch specials like red beans and rice, black-eyed peas, white butter beans, liver and onions. Daily lunch specials. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store, and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. 5 o'clock power hour coming your way. Thanks so much for checking us out on the radio. Thanks so much for checking us out on television. Thanks so much for checking us out live streaming, CoreyTalks.com. We're on YouTube. Check it out. Click to subscribe. Doesn't cost anything. Yeah, you're right. A Thursday afternoon edition of the program. If you missed the last hour, you missed a lot. Thank you, Mr. Drew Brees, for that. Now, if you missed the last hour, you missed another edition of Hillyer and Henican. Right-leaning Quin Hillyer, left-leaning Ellis Henican, breaking down a bunch of stuff. 5 o'clock power hour on a Thursday. Yeah, you're right. I love getting this guy on the program. New Orleans attorney, Fox 8 television legal expert. Joe Responti joins us on the program once again. Happy New Year, Joe. And from what a little birdie told me, happy birthday, too.
Yeah, that's the truth. If I'd have known I was going to live this long, I'd have taken a lot better care of myself.
Well, you seem pretty fit and healthy, and you're not like overweight or.
I don't know. Turn me inside out and let's see if you say that. But anyway, Good to hear from you, Corey. Good to hear from you, man.
Always a pleasure, Joe. I love hearing from you too. I really mean that. Hey, I loved your stuff on Fox 8. First off, thank God for Lee Zurich, huh, Joe? I mean, we're not a well-run city. We've got lots of problems. The David Hammer types, the Tyler Bridges, the Travers Mackle, that Cassie Sherm who works for Channel 6, and Lee Zurich. These investigative reporters, journalism, media, a lot of media bashing going on. Lee Zurich is a blessing. He basically puts the spotlight on stuff that's unsavory, that's not for the citizens, that's for the politicians, and that's a blessing.
Absolutely. I tell the young people in that newsroom, my job and your job, they both mention in the Bill of Rights, okay? They're both things that make the world go round, okay? Whether you like them or you criticize or not, you're first up. You're the First Amendment, what you guys got to do.
Yep.
And it is very important what you do. You're one of the main checks and balances of the way things go and the way people do things. And he does a very good job. He did the lengthy provocateur, as I call it.
He had Watergate with Nixon and the Vietnam stuff being revealed by the New York Times and the Washington Post. And Nixon tried to block it. The Supreme Court said what you're saying. First Amendment, the media's role in America's democracy is key.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a lot of jobs that aren't critical and essential. They're essential to the way America works.
Yep, no doubt. Hey, Joe, Lee Zurich, Fox 8 reports the FBI expanding their investigation into Mayor LaToya Cantrell. It's beyond this purchases made by her image consultant now. It's Jeffrey Vappy. It's the Pontalba apartment. It might be some things that Lee hasn't even discovered yet. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, in fact, and I don't know what, Lee and I, when he interviews me, he asked a lot of different things, and I don't know what made the air and what didn't, but I know the way I liken it is the things we know in my visceral sense is we know a lot of different pieces of a puzzle that are around the edges, but there's this big space in the middle that we don't know. I feel, and either maybe it's just a space that's going to always be a donut hole, and that is what it is. But maybe there's something there, and if there's something there with Madam Mayor, then she's a beignet and she's going to get fried because I know the guy. In fact, I talked to him today. The prosecutor in this case, he's not that he believe me, he would never tell me what's going on with the case investigation itself. But he's a hardworking, no-nonsense kind of guy, Jordan Ginsburg, and he's going to get where he's got to get to. It may take him a while, but he gets where he needs to get to.
Yeah, no, this guy's rep is Walter Reed. Who else? A couple of big hits that he's brought down.
What's the lady at the gambling problem?
Karen Carter Peterson, exactly.
Yeah,
and
so
I don't think they're done with that. I don't think they're done with that. The folks that were funneling the money to her are probably still in the Fed spotlight.
I don't know, but I know I've had other types of cases with him. He's just a very, he's a good guy. He plays it straight. He's a straight arrow, and if something's there, that's kind of like we were just saying, Leeser type of thing. Sometimes they can get a ball rolling. Sometimes they can kick over a couple of rocks that maybe somebody else didn't know.
Yep.
But it seems like the rock is rolling down the hill now from the feds, and I don't know. I don't think they're in. My gut is that they're not in the later stages. They're in the earlier stages of things. But I don't know that. I don't know. But there seems to be what we do know. Maybe criminal, and if it's not, it's certainly inappropriate. It's clearly inappropriate. So, but it may very well be. And I think Mr. Vappy, because he is a hourly paid employee of the city, it's a more structured thing. So if you're not where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there, and you're getting paid, that is a little more easier case to make.
It better be criminal if there's something there, because if it's ethics or integrity, come on, Joe. Louisiana, New Orleans, ethics boards. It's not only I wouldn't even say all bark and no bite. It's no bark or bite. It's pathetic. With ethics, integrity, morals in this city, in this state, don't exist in politics. So legal's the only way it can go. Speaking of that, what's the image consultant part? What did she possibly do wrong? What's the legal or illegal angle with purchases made for the mayor by the, quote, image consultant?
Well, I mean, and once again, I don't know, but I'm saying that what is and what isn't right now. But if it is deemed that what she did is a violation of, there are now more stringent campaign finance laws, and with that, it's basically money laundering. I'm saying, okay, you're getting money for one purpose. You're contributing to a campaign for appropriate use of money to buy ads, etc.
Yeah,
and that is then funneled to the candidate's personal gain that's money laundering.
A Walter Reed type thing, right?
Exactly. That basically is what he went down for, and I mean, maybe it isn't money laundering per se. I mean, but that's why they have a more specific statute now about campaign fraud. But it's the same thing, using monies for purposes that were not intended for your own personal gain. You can't do that.
No, and John Alario got away with it with no feds going after him. I don't understand how that happened. Hey, NOPD officer Jeffrey Vappy, what's the problem there? Checking in, clocking in, and not doing work?
Once again, whether or not that it is or it isn't, but that would fall probably more under the category of payroll fraud. Is what I think a charge would be. If you're getting paid to do a job, that you're not doing, that's pay. I mean, we remember that. I mean, way back when I was working as one of the Pano attorneys, we had the situation where they were making that movie with Dennis Quaid, about the corruption in New Orleans, the police work in the details of that. Of that movie,
The Big Easy,
double dipping, so saying art imitates life.
Yeah,
during that thing.
Yeah, no doubt. That's why it was done in New Orleans, even with Dennis Quaid's terrible accent. Hey,
was he horrible? They always land somewhere between Raceland and Boutique or Gramercy or somewhere. I don't know, but they ain't New Orleans.
Come on, Cher. That's how we do it in the Big Easy.
Right.
Yikes. That's like vomit type comments. Lastly, the Pontalba apartment receiving something of value that you're not entitled to.
I think that this is going to be a more difficult thing, because does she have a right to sleep in that apartment? Have other people slept in that apartment for a night or two? Yes, I think, you have a right to use it to host an event.
Official use, not personal use.
Exactly. And that's going to be, Corey, that is going to be the delineation. And the pushback is going to be, hey, this is the mayor. She has the discretion to use it as she wants. So whether or not that washes, I'm saying that if I'm a prosecutor, that's a tougher one to do. I just let's stay tuned. Let's see what that donut hole is going to end up looking like.
Yeah, no doubt.
Let's see if that gets filled in with something else or not. We're going to see.
Yep. Hey, Joe, Happy New Year. Happy birthday. Thank you so much.
All right,
Super discount store in Chalmette.
Good hearing from you. Love getting them on. That's Joe Responti.
By Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer. Worth the drive from anywhere. If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Henican. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro. For over 30 years, one of the premier security companies in New Orleans and South Louisiana has been Tommy's Lock and Alarms. And right now, Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring. Come and work for one of the best security companies in the region with great pay, great benefits, and a take-home vehicle. Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring, and they're looking for you. To apply for one of these coveted positions, go online to tommyslockанdalarms.com. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
You know, body language tells you a lot about what a person's thinking. For instance, that means she has an interest in the finer things in life.
The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson.
That means she also wants a little fun in her life, but only with the right man.
Corey Johnson.
Now she's pouring a Colt 45, and we all know what that means.
Yeah, you right.
Mind if I join you?
You must have read my mind.
Something like that.
The power of Colt 45. It works every time.
It pretty much does work every single time. I've been in a grocery store before, popped open a Colt 45 brand malt liquor, and at least 20 different women tackled me, started ripping my shirt off and stuff. Colt 45 brand malt liquor, definitely not a sponsor of this program. Thank you so much. A Thursday afternoon, 5 o'clock powwow. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. Thanks for joining us. The 5 o'clock powwow this afternoon brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant that's hiring right now. They've been on a hiring spree for about 20 years. You want to know why? Just tremendous growth all around the world by this New Orleans born, bred, based company. Over 1,200 employees in Elmwood, 80 plus acres of Latrim in Elmwood. They're on the North Shore now in Hammond, right off the I-12. East Bank, West Bank, North Shore. Latrim's got a job for you. It's 2023. It's a new year. How about changing your life for the positive? A new career at Latrim. Go to latrim.com for a full listing of positions available. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M, latrim.com. Tomorrow, Michael Hecht will join us from Greater New Orleans Inc. on the program. That segment's always brought to you by Latrim. Big Thursday. If you missed the 4 o'clock hour, you missed a lot. Another edition of Hillyer and Henican, right-leaning Quin Hillyer, left-leaning Ellis Henican. They rarely agree, but very, smart and reasonable and thoughtful, and they'll disagree, but, talk about it and discuss it and not like come to an agreement. It's not changing the other guy's mind, but it's just, it's not yelling. They're not attacking each other, calling each other names. I love getting those guys on. Just a few minutes ago, Joe Responti joined us. Lee Zurich reports the FBI expanding their investigation. The FBI expanding their investigation into Mayor LaToya Cantrell. Purchases made by her image consultant, NOPD officer Jeffrey Vappy, the Pontalba apartment, and possibly other things. Maybe that's why the mayor yesterday, hey, y'all, I'm doing a Wednesday press conference. I'm going to have one every Wednesday. Like,
trying to do the right thing maybe now. Might be too little too late. By the way, nolatoya.org gaining some serious momentum. Yesterday was 19 weeks in, 7 weeks to go. So now 6 weeks, 6 days to go. The day after Mardi Gras, pretty appropriate. Ash Wednesday is the deadline for over 53,000 signatures. And here's the deal that I think a lot of people don't understand. They think you sign the petition, they hit the numbers, the mayor's ousted. That's not how it works. The recall, if it passes, it means the mayor goes up for election again. And you'd go to the booth in New Orleans and you'd either be for keeping Mayor LaToya Cantrell or ousting Mayor LaToya Cantrell. That very night when the votes are tabulated, if the citizens of New Orleans, if the recall signatures are met and there is this special election and the citizens vote to oust the mayor, she's ousted immediately. And then the city council will elect an interim mayor. And then the governor will announce another special election in Orleans Parish where Orleans Parish voters would then vote for qualified candidates for mayor. Or I should say not qualified candidates. You could get Mayor LaToya Cantrell types. She can't run, obviously. Candidates that are qualified, that, you know, that they meet the minimum requirements to legally run. So qualified candidates would run, and then we'd elect a new mayor in New Orleans. And who knows? If the recall doesn't work, the feds are all over LaToya the Destroyer Cantrell, Junket Cantrell, Contrary Cantrell. And by the way, the new NOPD police search, the national search for a new NOPD chief, has not even begun yet. The mayor has admitted as much. I mean, where's the sense of urgency? The Saints and Pelicans call on the city of New Orleans and the NOPD, the council, the mayor, after yet more cars broken into in and around the Smoothie King Center after, or I should say during, last night's Pelicans-Rockets game. Now, it's unbelievable that this continues to happen. It really is. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. It's not believable in the least bit. You want to know the solution to this? Because we can't wait for the NOPD to get all their police, ready to roll, that type of stuff. We need to handle this ourselves as citizens. We need to handle this ourselves as citizens. And you know what that means? Maybe having a New Orleans version of the Guardian Angels. I mean, this has to stop. We need citizens to volunteer and start a New Orleans Guardian Angels. Patrol the French Quarter 24/7, patrol the Dome and the Smoothie King Center, the Sanger, those areas when events are there. I mean, you don't want to lose the city of New Orleans, And right now, this isn't a good situation in the least bit. You go to a game, you come back and your window's blown out. It's crazy. The Guardian Angels, by the way, they're not armed, but they're trained and proficient in self-defense, first aid, and knowing the law. Self-defense, first aid, knowing the law. They are unarmed. No, it's for personal and community protection. We need the New Orleans Guardian Angels, about 50 to 75 patrolling around the Dome and the arena during events. And then patrolling the French Quarter, like I said, full-time, 24/7. This is how we, the citizens of New Orleans, can take our city back. It's the only way. We have to do it ourselves. And just in time for Mardi Gras 2023. Need a couple of hundred volunteers. Fly some drones over the Dome and the arena area during events. and monitor what's going on the ground. This is 2023. The technology and the manpower easily solved by citizens. Let's take our city back. There are easily a few hundred qualified citizens that would embrace this role. No, it's overdue. We need a Citizens New Orleans Guardian Angel group to protect people and their property. Ridiculous. Isn't that the solution? Hey, not only are the Saints and the Pels complaining, the NBA and NFL is fully aware of this, and they're making their thoughts known. This is a national embarrassment for New Orleans. You have an event at the Dome or the arena or the Sang or something, and a bunch of cars get broken into, and it happens over and over again. How many times has this happened this year or last year going into this year? 15, 20 times? Every damn game it happens. Thank goodness the Saints and Pels, kind of like a Fortune 500 company, national reputation, stepping up and complaining. It's about time. It's ridiculous. New Orleans Guardian Angels. We need that now. We need that now. My God, some absolutely great news. Damar Hamlin is awake and breathing. Still has a breathing tube in his mouth, so he can't talk. But he wrote, "Did we win the game today?" You know what I'm really looking for? Hey, TV audience, mañana. You know what I'm really looking for? I mean, obviously, I pray and hope that Damar Hamlin continues his positive progress and is back 110%. But what I really want to see is video of Damar Hamlin when they show him that charity he started. He started a charity called Hamlin's Chasing M's Foundation. His goal was insanely modest, to raise $2,500, $2,500 to buy toys for underprivileged kids in Buffalo. The goal, $2,500. He exceeded the goal before Christmas of last year. A few weeks ago, exceeded the goal by $421. $2,921 raised for buying toys for underprivileged kids. So the goal was $2,500. He exceeded it by $421, $2,921. Do you know the amount of money that has been raised now in Hamlin's Chasing M Foundation? You ready for this? Over $7.3 million. I mean, it's awesome. $7.3 million. Now, almost makes you want to tear up. I want to see this kid, this 24-year-old man. I want to see him when someone goes, hey,
the city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
At Home Paint and Decorating, our paints are in it for the long haul. In fact, our top Benjamin Moore exterior paints come with a lifetime warranty. Not 25 years, not 50 years, we mean forever. You heard right. At Helm Paint, our top exterior paints have a lifetime warranty against chipping, peeling, and flaking. They also are mildew resistant. Imagine painting your home one time and being done with it. Visit any one of our locations today and make that once-in-a-lifetime purchase. Paint that has a lifetime warranty. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about the freshest local seafood anywhere. Shrimp, oysters, speckled trout, flounder, snapper, soft shells, crawfish. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
For years, you've been hearing about the virtues of Springfield Wellness Center and their successful treatment of over 1,000 individuals who overcame their substance addiction. Now it's your turn. Here's Springfield's Dr. Richard Medier.
For over 20 years, we've successfully treated patients with substance abuse issues and have also had success with patients suffering from chronic stress, depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder. We uniquely address restorative issues at the cellular level that impact mental health. We treat our patients with an intravenous nutritional supplement that helps restore various brain functions. Most of our patients have greatly reduced withdrawal symptoms. We work toward maximizing nutritional interventions while utilizing traditional medication interventions when needed. Our treatment works toward restoring the brain's health while returning the patient to a normal, dependent-free life.
Put your addiction behind you. Call Springfield Wellness Center now. 504-291-2800. That's 291-2800.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. 5 o'clock power hour on a Thursday. Fausto's Italian Bistro has been open for about 35 minutes now. They'll go till 9 p.m. Sit at the bar. Sit inside. When the weather's like this, outdoor dining is available at Fausto's Italian Bistro. Some of the city's best Sicilian and Italian can be found at Fausto's Italian Bistro, right there on Vets, a few blocks in from the Parish Line. I like getting this guy on the program every week. Honor, integrity, pride, ethics, morals. He's all about that. And he's not from here. Came in from Indiana about 30 years ago and said, I'm going to be here for a few weeks helping out this animal problem in New Orleans and Louisiana. And 30 years later, he never left because he's fixing the problem. I shouldn't say he's fixing it. He is helping to fix the problem. But in Louisiana, we continue to look the other way and do a horrible job when it comes to the humane treatment of animals. And I don't know if you're a God-fearing person, that's sinful behavior. And if you're not a God-fearing person, it is just, it's wrong. It's wrong. And we've got to try to do better in Louisiana and New Orleans, all over. Love getting him on. He's from the Humane Society of Louisiana. Go to their Facebook page. Don't take my word for it. They update their Facebook page all the time, Humane Society of Louisiana on Facebook. and you can see the photos, you can read the stories. All they do is grind and help dogs and cats and kittens and puppies and horses and goats, any animals, treating them more humanely. You can donate at humanela.org. The guy that runs the whole shooting match over there, humanela.org. Jeff Dorson joins us again. What's up, Jeff?
Hey, Corey, you know I appreciate this time because we talk about the only thing I'm capable of talking about, being nice to animals, looking out for them, advocating for them, and lending a hand when they need it. And you said it right. So few of us really do, and I'd love to leave this planet knowing that more people care. And it doesn't take a whole lot.
No,
it doesn't. Just what you did for your feral cat outside was awesome during the freeze. I wish more people would have followed your lead.
Well, I tried to tell him, I'm like, you got outdoor cats. I mean, dogs, folks that have a, quote, outdoor dog, you need to give up the animal. You're a fool. There's no outdoor dog, okay? There's no outdoor dog. Dogs come in and out the house. They are domesticated animals that fully rely on human beings. A dog cannot survive without humans. A cat can, but an outdoor cat, that's fine if you have an outdoor cat. I have an outdoor cat. It comes inside and wants out right away. But when the temperatures drop to 25, Jeff, and the wind chill's 10, in my garage, I put about 3 heaters in there, little plug-in heaters. I, put the door cracked with a blanket so the wind wouldn't go into that room. And then the cat could go right under the little blanket, enter the room. I kind of started putting his food there instead of by my steps, by my door, about 3 days out from this cold, so it would get familiar going in there. And then I put a heat blanket in there as well. And I'd go in there, Jeff, I'm telling you, just running from my door to the garage. It feels like 12 outside. I'm freezing like crazy. I'd go in there and be like, man, it's like 55 in here. This is nice. Cats meowing, water, food, happy-go-lucky. Now, I don't understand how people acquire pets and they think it's like a television set. I don't get that.
And how long did it take you to set that up, Corey?
It took a long time, Jeff, a good 5 to 10 minutes.
Well, there you have it. That would have solved everything during the freeze, but instead our phone rings for 3 days because everybody thinks it's a good idea, except you, to leave their animals outside during the freeze, although they're inside comfortable with their sweater and heater on. So please, empathy is trading places with another creature to see what they go through, and we can change this around so easily if we would just be nicer, kinder, more thoughtful, a little bit more compassionate, go out of your way a little bit.
Yeah.
So thanks for leading the way. I want others to follow. Please join us. We're working it. We are working all the time, but it can't just be us. Nobody can do this whole work, just, half a dozen people. So please become the 13th, 14th, get off the bench, get on the floor. Please help us. We've asked to have a meeting with the governor because in the 7 years he's been in office, he hasn't taken any kind of position on the environment or the animals that we can tell, and we've been monitoring it.
No, you're right.
So
you're right.
Meetings coming up. We're going to tell them out just what we see every day in the state, that we could use his help. Just announce it. Join us, partner up with us, because it's not going too well, Governor, or anybody else listening. It's just not going very well.
No, and you're the governor. Do you want the reputation of the state to be like we suck when it comes to animals? We're not humane down here in Louisiana? Or do you want to solve this problem that is ridiculously easy to solve? It's not 30, 40 million bucks. A couple of $1 million. You get to like 3 or 4, you literally solve the problem statewide. You come up with just a couple of mil, it makes a ridiculous difference. You wanted $2 million from the state to throw $100,000 to 20 different sites, mostly in rural areas, that are absolutely pathetic when it comes to animal care and whatever the not humane side, but like the what would you call it? The animal shelters and the folks that handle animals in those parishes and towns and cities.
Yep, you said it all. And that's how easy it is.
And of course, you got nixed on that, but hopefully, I mean, you've done a great job with getting with the right people. Tell us real quick, Jeff, a legislator, a key person, elected official, you've been doing that the last few weeks.
We have. In fact, ever since session ended, we tried to reorganize and come up with a better strategy. We reached out to Commissioner Strain, the Speaker of the House, Clay Check-Snyder. We had them speak at our luncheon with the whole intention of them educating themselves and the audience and getting a team together, which is exactly what we'll be doing until session starts. Who's going to be our floor leader and Senate leader for this, the small amendment? Trust me, hundreds, billions of dollars are passing through, and all we want is a sliver, and yet we have to fight very hard for that sliver.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll be there, and I'll be fighting because it's important, and it will pave the way. If we get that audience and a favorable response this year, I think every year they can get used to it. It's so hard for them to understand. No, we don't need any more civic centers or, basketball courts. Not right now. Can we just set aside a little bit for public animal shelters?
Yeah, no, exactly, because we're terrible at it. I was going to call this guy in Leeville a jackass, but I don't want to disparage donkeys. Who is this idiot leaves his dog outside during the cold? Two things, Jeff. Did you guys take the dog? And two, can we put him in like a freezer and just like shorts and a T-shirt for a while and let him see how it feels?
Well, even more pathetic, the owner leaned a soggy mattress against his fence as if that was somehow, and the poor dog didn't know what that was. So he was curled up on the ground in the freeze when we found out about it. We had a good talk with the chief of police. She sent one of her top people there, got possession of the dog. It's under our custody. The guy was given I think he was given a choice, get arrested or give the dog. So,
nice.
He took plan B.
That's brilliant.
For now, I can live with. We have the dog. But, that was just one of probably a couple 100,000 out there shivering in the
I wish you would have been stupid and said, arrest me, and then you take the dog, too, and get a 2-for-1. But,
Yeah, that would have been nice. That would have been my call. But, yeah, we took 1 out of 2. But thank you again. You get to allow us to be frustrated and mobilize more people because it's not going away. It will not solve itself.
Nope. No, and
I'm begging, I'm urging. I don't know, how many more years I got left, I don't know, but I'd like to spend it in a really productive, strategic way to help as many animals as possible. If that resonates with any of you listening, join us as a member, a donor. Donate your car, something of value. Put something at stake so that we're all in this together. We're all shareholders.
Yep. Jeff will take your car, boat, anything that he can sell, and then take the money to help dogs and cats, kittens and puppies, goats, horses, all kind of animals. Jeff needs volunteers. It's all white women, like 35 to 64. That's it. There's no male volunteers. There's no black, Latino, Asian. It's crazy. It's white women only that volunteer at the Humane Society of Louisiana. And Jeff needs money. You can't volunteer. You can't step up. Do something right. Help us solve this animal crisis in Louisiana that's been going on for decades. Jeff's been here, 30 years, Jeff?
Yeah, pushing 35 this year.
It's ridiculous. If Jeff Dorson would have spent 5 years what he's doing and left and went back home to Indiana, he'd be a saint. He'd be a hero. 5 years of greatness. Almost 35 years. We owe Jeff this. An outsider who has come down here is now an official New Orleanian, embraces the city, enjoys the city, but is constantly on the move. I don't care if it's a Saturday or Sunday. It's 7 days a week. It's 12 months a year. It's 24 hours a day. The Humane Society is out there doing the job, helping animals. Please donate. You go to humanela.org. And you can donate there, humanela.org. I told you go to Facebook, Humane Society of Louisiana, and you can actually see what they do. They're always updating
The Port of New
site.
Orleans is the
Hey,
gateway
Jeff,
to
hang on.
global
We're coming
commerce,
right back.
the economic
Awesome,
engine that
thank you.
moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. nola.woodhousespas.com.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com. For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms. With smart home technology, control lights, locks, cameras, thermostat, and your alarm, all from your phone or laptop. Smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them. In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Henican. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store, and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" He said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
At Helm Paint, we go the extra mile with free delivery anywhere in the metro area. In the middle of a job and short on paint? Call us and we'll come to you.
Short on time? Call in your order and pick it up in the drive-thru at our Earhart Boulevard location.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
Yeah, you right. Finishing the show in style today. If you missed the 4 o'clock hour, you missed a lot. Another edition of Hillyer and Henican. Right-leaning Quin Hillyer, left-leaning Ellis Henican joined us. You can check that out on YouTube, Anchor, iTunes, Spotify. We also visited with Joe Responti to start the 5 o'clock power hour. New Orleans attorney, Fox 8 legal expert. The FBI expanding their investigation into Mayor Latoya, the Destroyer, Cantrell. Jeff Dorson's nice enough to stick around for a couple of more minutes. He's with the Humane Society of Louisiana. Please donate right now. Start the new year off right. They need your help. All they do is help animals. That's all they do. HumaneLA.org is the website to donate. So great news. You guys have possession of the dog that was left out in the cold. What's the next? Oh, hey, buddy. I hear someone barking, Jeff.
Yep. That's one of my crew.
Yep. How many are in your crew?
Oh, I go anywhere from 4 to 6 and above.
Oh, the legal limit's 4, Jeff. Be quiet. The legal limit's 4.
Really? In Orleans? I don't think they enforce it. I hope not.
No, wait. You're telling me they don't enforce laws in Orleans? You're kidding me.
Surprise, surprise.
Wow, that's crazy. Next, you're going to tell me cars get broken into at events downtown. That's nutty. Okay. So getting back to the dog, you guys have possession of the dog that was left out in the cold in Leesville.
Correct. So it's at the shelter in Vernon Parish. What we do is we sponsor. Of course, it's going to be heartworm positive. We knew that going in, but we do that a lot.
That's unbelievable.
Here's a creative way that we try to respond. Caldwell Parish, again, a rural parish with nothing. And when I mean nothing, there's nobody that will respond to any animal related. There's no humane society. There's no animal control. There's no any type of services. So we have a guy incarcerated, a couple dogs in his trailer, starving. We have a volunteer go in, and then we install 3 kennels at a price of $1,500 so that they can stay somewhere. But we're willing to do that. We think that's a great little program. Then that person will adopt them out and recycle more coming in. So we're going to keep doing that, keep installing kennels around the state where there's nothing. It's basic, it's minimal, but it's a far better cry than nothing. So we like that. In fact, the police department called us saying, can they have some kennels? It makes sense. Yep. At least the basic housing is what's missing and necessary. And basic, like a kennel in a igloo, that's a beginning.
Yep. Those little igloos, the doghouse igloo thing, the plastic bottom, looks like an igloo. It's round with a little entrance that keeps the wind out.
Yep. There's my crew again. So we're doing that program. We're reaching out to all these rural communities that have nothing, asking who will run these little tiny kennels. And we're getting some bites. So we like that idea.
I like that
we're going to meet with the governor in a few weeks saying, where's some state money so that we have some serious backing to address this serious problem?
No, let's solve this problem because it's easy to solve. And let's make the laws harsher where the penalties are harsher. You know, you mentioned that the dog's heartworm positive. Just the irresponsible pet ownership in the state. Folks don't want to spay and neuter their animals, which is ridiculous. It's not only stops, procreation, it in later stages in life, it really helps eliminate cancer. So it's a no-brainer to spay and neuter your animals. Anybody that's like, man, I love my dog, I want to have him breed. You're an idiot. Go get another dog from somewhere else. You don't need to breed your dog. You're not a breeder. You don't know what you're doing. I know you love your dog. I love my dog too. My cat of 20 years, Sparky, just passed away a few weeks ago. Didn't want to mention it a few weeks ago, Jeff, because I couldn't handle talking about it. But, you just, I don't know. It's not a TV set. You got to be responsible. And if you own a dog 2 times a year or a cat 2 times a year to the vet, Trifexis for the dogs or some combination of a couple of other things that are available, heartworm medication. We're in the South. Mosquitoes, they bite dogs and cats. They can get heartworms and they die from the heartworms. And then what Jeff's talking about, all these dogs are heartworm positive. It's not an easy process. It's kind of expensive to get rid of the heartworms, right, Jeff?
It sure is. 500 to 800 with the fast kill with a couple of injections. Slow kill is when you just give the pills over time. Yep. But if it's advanced, you have to do the fast kill. So it's only 20 or 30 a month for heartworm prevention. If you can't afford that, please don't get a dog.
Yeah, don't.
If you can, great. We'll spend it wisely.
Right. Be responsible pet owner. It's not a toy. It's not a TV. It's not a material object. It's a living creature that has feelings. Yeah, don't be a pet owner. Now, this Sparky was 20 years old, so I was blessed with that cat. You know, he's been with me more than half of my adult life. And Blue Boy will be 20 in March. Basset Hounds have a life expectancy of 10, 12, maybe 13 years. Blue is 19, will be 20 in March.
Well, only because it reflects the good care that you're giving him. So well done. Nice.
Well, I just think folks need to be responsible pet owners or don't have a pet. And we have too many people that just don't care and look the other way and act belligerent. And it's sad. It's pathetic. We got to do better in Louisiana. Humane LA. Go ahead, Jeff.
No, people can also help by buying an animal-friendly license plate. That's something we got done 20 years ago, but we're still not promoting it well enough. People never heard of it.
Yep.
It just has a cat and dog on it. You know, like there's lots of different license plates. This one goes, all the proceeds, the $50 surcharge per plate, goes for low-cost spay-neuter clinics. So if this interests you, there's lots of ways you can help.
Yep.
That's one way. Volunteer, donate your car. If you have a certain skill, if you're great on the internet, social media, great speaking, great with kids, come join us. Use that skill to make a difference.
Yep, no doubt. Someone's waking up in the studio. It's the 19-year-old himself. What's up, Blue Boy? I love Jeff Dorson. I love the Humane Society of Louisiana. Please, people, donate. Blue Boy, you're right on the money. HumaneLA.org is the website where you can donate. Jeff, always a pleasure, brother.
Back at you. I just really appreciate you and our 25-plus friendship.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Corey.
You're the man, Jeff. HumaneLA.org. Do it.